Hi, welcome to today's topic. It's about diabetes, and the question is, how did I get diabetes? That is me. How did I get diabetes? My name is Dr. Jacinta, and diabetes, which I'll talk about, is a health condition. And one might start wondering why I'm talking about diabetes in a channel that is dedicated to agricultural extension. It's very simple. Agricultural extension is about updating a value chain, agribusiness value chain actors. And the value chain, I mean the whole chain from the input suppliers who supply farmers with the inputs such as feeds, fertilizers, and seeds, so that the farmers can produce food which can be consumed raw, or it can be taken to processors by transporters who process the food. Like milk, it is processed and it is put in packets and so on, and then it is taken to distribution channels or marketers like supermarkets and retail shops, and it is sold. And it is sold to the consumer, and the consumer is me and you. So if there is an important thing like food which you are supposed to take so that it can give you health and energy to do work, it affects you, then it can and it will be also be discussed in this channel. And that is why I'm discussing diabetes. And diabetes is a problem of utilization of the food that you eat. When you eat food, it is broken down in your stomach to produce glucose. And that glucose is absorbed by the bloodstream, and it is taken to your body cells, like the eyes, the brain, the legs, and so on. And inside the body cells, it is broken down into energy. And that energy is what does work, like your eyes can see, and your brain can think, and your legs can walk, and so on. So when you have diabetes, there's a problem with the utilization of the glucose. It is not being taken by the body cells, so it accumulates in the blood system, causing poisoning. And why do you think the body stops utilizing glucose? It's because of a hormone called insulin. This hormone is produced by your body, and it assists the glucose to move from the bloodstream to the body cells. So it acts like a door. It opens the cells of the body so that glucose can enter. So when we have a problem with insulin, then the glucose is not utilized. And this comes about, the insulin inactivity comes about when the body stops producing insulin, or it starts producing less insulin, or the body produces insulin, but your cells are not sensitive to it. They don't recognize it, so they don't open. So when we have the insulin problem, you get diabetes, and there are many types of diabetes, and one of them is type 1 diabetes, which is juvenile. It comes about early in life, and you stay with it for your whole life. The other one is gestational diabetes. It gets one when one is pregnant, a few people, and then it goes when you give birth. But the common one, most common, the one that I got was type 2 diabetes, and it affects most people. The causes of type 2 diabetes include genetic, you are born with it, you have a family history. It includes lifestyle change, like you are overweight, you are aged, you are obese, you are eating too much, especially foods that are high in carbohydrates and fats. And even when you take foods that are low in carbohydrates and fats, like fish, and you deep fry them, then you add fat, which is high in glucose. This is the body of a chicken to show you how your body looks like when you are obese, which prevents the cells from being sensitive to insulin. The causes of diabetes can include being inactive, so you are not using the energy especially if you change from an active work to just spending most of the time seated down. It can also include stress. You are stressed by one thing or the other, and this stress can just be simple, like going to work through very rough roads. Every morning you feel very tired and you feel stressed when you imagine the road that you are going to use. This one can predispose you to type 2 diabetes. It could be that the children are growing older and they are leaving you and you are foreseeing a life of loneliness. But all this brings you diabetes. And the signs of diabetes include excess thirst. You feel so thirsty. Then you feel like going to the toilet. Before you leave the toilet, you want to go back to the toilet. And then it also includes fatigue or tiredness because you are not getting energy. And then weakness, you feel like you want to faint. It can also include raw wood hearing. You feel that the woods are not hearing. But the most important sign of diabetes or confirmation is confirmation by a doctor. The doctor confirms that you have diabetes. And if you are not treated, then you will die. It is that serious. So that brings me to the next section. What do you do when you get confirmed of diabetes? One of them is that you must take the doctor's advice very seriously. Because if you don't, you can die, like the way we have seen, or you can progress to chronic or lifelong diabetes. And this diabetes can be so serious, such that it can affect your eyes, you become bright, it can affect your kidneys, so that you have kidney failure. It can affect your hearing capacity for wood, such that you find a small wood, maybe on your toe, might lead to amputation or cutting down of that toe because the wood is not hearing. So it is very important that you take the doctor's advice. So how did I get diabetes myself? First of all, I had no history or family history of diabetes. So when I was confirmed positive, I felt like there is a mistake. But I had all the other characteristics, all the other causes. I was overweight. I was over 87 kilograms weight, and like now when I'm 62, I was over 50 years old. Age is a predisposing factor. I had changed my job from a field work to office work, and therefore I was spending a lot of time seated down. My children were graduating and leaving, so I was feeling now I'm going to be very lonely. I'll have nothing to do, and I'll be very lonely. But I also had cystic ovaries. Cystic ovaries or cysts in the ovaries, they produce hormone just like in pregnancy, and they interfere with the insulin. So you can get diabetes. But the cysts had been removed. So I never expected to have diabetes. So all the other causes except genetic of diabetes, I had them with me. And when it was confirmed, I felt now that is the end of me. That is the end of my life. And I was shattered. But wait, that was the beginning of a new life. It was like resetting a button to start. So I have managed diabetes for the last 7 years without medication, and I have lived a healthy and active life. I'm not advocating for anybody to get diabetes so that you manage it, because that management has not been easy. And as I said, you can easily die of diabetes. It is so serious such that in 2019, about 1.5 million people in the world died of diabetes. So it is not something to joke with. But I have managed it for the last 7 years, and that will be the basis of my next presentation. So if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe so that you can get an alert on when the next topic comes about, and then you can know how to manage diabetes, especially without medication. So let's meet in the next presentation. Thank you.